Some people don't celebrate their birthdays, not because they forget, but because the date feels heavier than the candles, and silence becomes easier than attention. They don't avoid the day. They avoid the spotlight. Not every person is built for center stage. For some, birthdays feel like a countdown, a reminder of everything they're still figuring out. So they skip the noise and choose reflection instead. They don't need parties to feel alive. They've learned that meaning happens quietly, not in decorations or noise. Some people don't celebrate because they'd rather move forward, not pause and look back. Their mind is wired for progress, not anniversaries. Birthdays demand social circles, and not everyone has a room that feels safe. So they celebrate internally, quietly. They don't post "Happy Birthday" to me, not because they don't care, but because they don't seek applause. Some birthdays bring memories they don't want to reopen, so they keep the day light, even if the history isn't. They don't like the pressure of being celebrated. The attention, the expectations. It feels like too many eyes for one moment. Some people skip their birthdays because they've grown independent. They don't wait for others to make the day special. They simply live it their way. Some people avoid their birthdays because the spotlight feels heavy. They'd rather breathe in the quiet than stand under attention. Their silence says everything. They don't celebrate the date because it reminds them how fast time moves. They feel the clock more than the candles. That pressure? They keep it hidden. Some avoid birthdays because they don't like counting years. They like counting progress. And progress isn't always visible. They don't celebrate because they don't want forced smiles or staged moments. They crave what's real, even if that means nothing at all. Some feel birthdays are just noise, and noise disconnects them from themselves. Quiet feels more honest. They skip their birthday because they don't like being evaluated. How far did you go this year? They prefer breathing without comparisons. For some, the day feels less like celebration and more like a reminder of everything they never said out loud. So they keep the day quiet. They don't hate birthdays. They just don't feel connected to them. The date doesn't define their story. Some people grew up with birthdays that never felt special. So now, they avoid expectations to avoid the echo. They won't say it, but they prefer when the day passes like any other. No noise, no plans, just flow. Some people avoid birthdays because they don't want to pretend. No fake energy, no routine excitement. They protect their truth quietly. They don't celebrate because they don't like the pressure to be okay. Someone asking, "Why aren't you smiling?" feels heavier than silence. So they choose silence. Some people fear disappointing others on their birthday. The wrong mood, the wrong reaction, the wrong energy. So they avoid expectations altogether. Birthdays feel too loud for people who carry their thoughts quietly. Their inner world is bigger than the celebration. They stay with that instead. They don't celebrate because they don't chase attention. They prefer being unnoticed, even when the world expects the opposite. Some people don't celebrate because they don't want to be reminded of who's missing. The empty spaces speak louder than the candles. So they keep the day small. They avoid birthdays because they've learned to find meaning in normal days, not special ones. Consistency feels safer than surprise. For some, celebrations feel like performance. Too scripted, too predictable. They crave real moments, not rehearsed ones. They don't celebrate because they value privacy. They protect their inner world like it's sacred. A birthday feels too exposed. Some avoid birthdays because they don't like being the center of anything. Attention drains them faster than time itself. Silence recharges them. Some people don't celebrate because the day feels too loud for their quiet nature. Noise drains them faster than age ever could. So they choose calm over chaos. They skip birthdays because they don't want to feel measured by time. They move at their own pace, not the calendar's. And that choice frees them. Some people avoid birthdays because they value presence, not performance. They'd rather live the moment quietly than celebrate loudly. Smallness feels real to them. They don't celebrate because they've outgrown the meaning of the day. Numbers don't define them. Growth happens in the silence between years. Some people don't skip birthdays because they're distant. They do it because they've learned to move differently, quietly, yet deeply. So if someone doesn't celebrate their birthday, don't assume distance. Sometimes silence is their way of staying true to themselves. If this spoke to your mind, don't let it pass. Tap subscribe, hit like, and share this with someone who keeps their day quiet. You're still here, which means this hit deeper than a birthday post ever could. Support the channel, like, share, and follow for more mind-opening videos.